The garden of the human soul ran to seed by the moral failure we call sin. But this has been given back to us, this ancient paradise of the garden of the soul, by Christ at Easter. Christ, by rising again, has given back to us the life of grace, which we receive from the sacraments. And we can look to the fully graced one, Mary of Nazareth, depicted here by this statue of Our Lady of Grace, to teach us to cultivate this inner garden of the soul. It requires some effort and hard work in pulling up the noxious weeds of vices and their bitter fruits, which are sins, and growing their opposite virtues and their fruits, which are good works. All of this is to follow Christ, to pass through the same stages of growth of the life of grace which he won back for us by his earthly life, as it were repeating his life in us. He taught that we must turn and become again as little children in order to have entry into the kingdom of heaven. And by this he meant that we must live again that same innocence of life which we observe in little children. He led by his own example, becoming himself a little child, learning, willing to be entirely dependent in his sacred humanity on the young Mary of Nazareth. In this month of May, we are reminded of the elegant teaching of the Second Vatican Council on the motherhood in the order of grace that Christ willed for Holy Mary with regard to each one of us. We should try to learn to let ourselves be led by accepting spiritual dependence and learning from the fully graced one how to live again this life of Easter, this life of grace which has been given to us. Let us in this time of May learn precisely the new life of the ancient paradise restored to us, but which also is the beginnings of the eternal paradise which we gain entry to by having cultivated the fullness of the life of that grace, the fullness of the age of Christ in this life.